We're here at the ascent of the Phoenician mountainside in Paradise Valley, Arizona at our concrete canvas project. This is one of our Trust the Process projects where we manage the entire process from design all the way to construction and furnishings. This client wanted kind of like a hotel lobby feel, very elevated, but they also have a lot of cozy, intimate spaces as well. And I think this project is really unique and you guys are gonna love it. So as you enter their unit, the first thing you see is this beautiful ground floor bench. This is from our first collection. We love that pop of red. You'll see it throughout the home. And then our client wanted some hooks to hang purses, jackets. Across the way, you'll notice the beginning of the eclectic side of the design. So we wanted to bring in some texture for her. She's gonna layer some of her artwork in this space. And then as you turn to the right-hand side, this is where the construction really began. So this is the introduction to the chepo slab that you see throughout the home. It was one of the ways that we could warm up the home, make it more organic, more calming, a little bit more feminine. And it's a nice clean ledge, but it also interjects the mirror. So you get this kind of cantilevered look here. It's very architectural, and it also really expands the space. So we did a custom floor to ceiling mirror with this powder coated trim, this soft LED, and it's the perfect entry to this home. We're here in the guest bedroom, and our client wanted to keep this really clean. They love low furniture, they love open space, so you can see everything in here is very simple and calming. The one thing we wanted to do to bring attention and character in here is to add this wall covering. And one of the reasons we did this was because we wanted to carry it into the bathroom, and you'll see how it coordinates with the tub on this same plane. But we feel like it's an art piece in itself. It brings so much texture, everything else being very minimal. It really works. And then you can see even with the styling, with the bedding, with the nightstands, it's very functional. We have lighting, we have storage, but it's also just very soft and easy to keep maintained. And then we also sourced a nice vintage siesta lounge chair and ottoman, perfect for reading. So this bathroom was existing, this is new construction. So our client didn't necessarily love the selections that the builder selected because they purchased the property after these selections were made. But what we wanted to do was bring that wall covering in here over the tub so it complements the tile really well, and it actually draws your attention to the actual wall covering instead of the tile. And I think now when you see them together, it works really well. And then across the space is the existing finishes and vanity, so we just added some styling moments, and I think it ends up being really cohesive with the rest of the space. So just off the entryway is the powder bath. This is one of my favorite spaces in the home. Our client wanted a full design in here. So we started with a blank slate. The first thing we selected was this chepo slab. It really works well with all of the existing finishes that are throughout the home. And we love how organic and warm this feels. We also integrated a sink. We do this a lot in powder baths. It just elevates the space and it gives you easier cleaning, and it just continues that active look within the slab so that you don't lose that. Then you can see we included the substrate tile. This is from our high-fired collection in the color rust. And we loved that we just wrapped it all the way around this wall and through the room so it feels like this is a brick wall. And then as you look up, you can see our client loves eclectic design, and we wanted to bring in more texture. One of the ways we do that is in lighting and accessories. So the light fixture has this rope detail, and it brings a really beautiful warmth to the space. Coming off of the powder bathroom, you enter into a beautiful lounge and coffee bar. One of the first things our client asked for was more storage near her entryway. So we're in Arizona, we don't necessarily need coat closets, but we need golf closets. And so she's gonna be able to fit their golf bags in here and just more things that they need going in and out of the house. They also wanted some more open storage for shoes. So we have this nicely here. And then as you flow into the lounge, one of the things you'll notice is this concrete section. This was actually a concrete column in the unit that was existing, part of the structure of the building, but the building actually smoothed these concrete pillars, and our client really wanted that raw industrial look. So we actually had this texture applied onto the concrete to make it look more of like the rough original concrete that was here. And you would never be able to tell. It looks insane. We have that material repeated throughout the space. And then as you transition, we started to bring in a walnut finish. So again, this is to warm things up. We have a lot of industrial finishes. The walnut is classic. We also have a hot rolled steel base down here. So you're starting to see more of that layer of material and repetition of material. So this is really like their hangout TV space on an everyday basis, but we also wanted to give them some area for display. So We have drawers at the bottom, which is super functional. We have some open cubbies to display some of their pieces in their travels. And then at the top, we did these sliding track doors. So you can slide this over and again, access whatever it is, games, books, blankets. And then on this side, what you'll notice is the backing of the mirror. So we did a smoked glass on the back of this bookcase. That's a really great way to create more depth in a space so that it doesn't feel as flat. And you also see the reflection of the sculptures on the backside. So we love how this came together. And then that transitions us into this kind of moody fireplace, small lounge area. Our client loves coffee. So this side of the space was all about her coffee. She wanted her own coffee bar in here, kind of like a boutique hotel vibe. So the finishes of the fireplace were existing. We wanted to incorporate those and make them feel cohesive with the new finishes. For us, especially with Trust the Process, we're working with existing hard surfaces, existing flooring, and so what we're bringing in, we want it to complement, so it feels like we selected it all at the same time. So as you turn the corner, this is one of my favorite things we've probably ever designed. So hot rolled steel, you guys know we love steel. We basically color drenched this entire bar in steel. So again, when you have different areas of a space and you want to define it, creates more depth and more interest. And so they wanted a moody feel. So this is all hot rolled steel. We then brought in some custom cabinetry. You can see we did the integrated aluminum J-poles here. Very clean, very contemporary. And then you'll see the Ceppo again. So we had the Ceppo in the powder bath. We brought it here into the bar. For me, it's that juxtaposition of cold and warm. I think that's what our firm is really amazing at. So you have this industrial concrete column, which people might think is cold and masculine and sterile, and then all of a sudden you bring in this Italian warm Ceppo, and that balance is insane. So they have a nice sink over here, and then we wanted to keep the materials really minimal, so we just continued the steel into shelving, and then we hid some LEDs. So we have a little LED track in the back and a little piece of steel trim so you don't see the LED and it just washes the wall. We also brought one of our favorite RBW lights in that amber tone, and I mean, it honestly feels like a hotel lobby bar. Flipping on this side, we again continued the hot rolled steel. You'll notice that we did this kind of accordion detail on the back side. It brings so much texture to the space, visual interest, shadow play during different times of the day. And one of the things our client also really loved was exposed joinery and industrial pieces. So we intentionally continued these vertical steel components up to the top of the countertop. So we wanted to show that these steel components are on the backside and creates cubbies over here. So if you spin around, you'll see we continued more of the Ceppo slab, more area for storage. So they're gonna have their coffee machine here, they can have mugs, they can serve, and honestly, it's great for morning and evening. So off of the coffee bar, you're gonna enter into the kitchen, the great room, and the formal dining, and our design director, Anastasia, is gonna explain all the things we did in here.
So starting with the kitchen, we actually didn't change anything here. It was existing millwork fabricated in Germany by Bullhub. So when we started working on interior design, we wanna make sure that all materials that we bring into the space works cohesively with existing materials here. As you can see, we have a lot of oak, we have aluminum and gray tones on this side, with a little pop of walnut on the countertop, bar, and obviously on these chairs, which were existing by our clients. So walking to the side, you can see that we created a dining moment here because it's hard to call typical dining room. We created this fully custom dining table with a marble top in a symmetric shape. We want to make sure that you can have this table as your conversation point and from any other angles. We also want to make sure that when you're working from home, you're enjoying the view from this side. And our clients obsessed with industrial pops, steel, and concrete, so we intentionally brought screws being drilled on the top. We played with a pendant that has asymmetric shapes. You can see the angles for this table. From this side, you can place 2 chairs here. You can have 1 chair over here. We also have a curtain made of mesh that we brought here as a divider between dining room and a walk-in space to the primary bedroom. We want to make sure that clients have some sort of privacy, but if they want to have more people and have huge gathering, they can easily tuck it into the wall and have more space around the table. And going to another side of this room, we turn into this beautiful lobby at the hotel-inspired living room, which you can see this huge open concept feels so airy and so cozy at the same time. We created this circular moment with organic shaped rug and bended sofa, which is made of leather. It's so comfy and color suits the space perfectly. We added a little pop of walnut here to bring more warmth and make that cohesive connected moment in between all three spaces that connected here. We love how these two lounge chairs in very pale denim blue bring here more, everyday casual vibes. I feel like I want to have my suitcase here and I just arrived to middle of Europe, enjoy my vacation. So we love how this indoor space connects with the outdoor living. You can sit in any chair or sectional in this living room and enjoy fireplace and that beautiful mountain view.
So just off of the great room, we have a beautiful patio. Our client really loved this space because it gives a really nice indoor-outdoor feel. And one of the things that you don't see so often is a slider that actually opens from both sides. So depending on what you're doing, if you're entertaining and you want guests to be going in and outside from the dining room, you can open it up this way. If you're hanging out in the lounge and you want to have more connection to the fireplace, you can open it up the other way. And so I absolutely love that detail. Just a very minor tweak when you're ordering your sliders, but I think it improves the function entirely. Coming out here, we have these really beautiful large format pavers. We selected some nice furnishings. Our client wanted to bring in more of that natural wood tone. So we picked some things that are going to be very functional for them. We have some swivel chairs. We went with a big, large scale concrete coffee table. You can see the linear fireplace here that the building already built out. So we loved that minimalist, clean look. And then over here, she also has outdoor dining. So we have a nice formal dining inside, and then we have a nice formal dining outside. Here in Arizona, we can spend so much time outside, especially for dining. So this is a great space to entertain. And then coming this way, they have a built-in barbecue. So we also wanted to dress up this space so it didn't look as typical. And we ended up bringing in these hot rolled steel panels, continuing some of those finishes that you see throughout the home. So it feels like we custom designed it from the beginning. This is actually a facade detail. So we wanted to give it a industrial look. So we put those on there for them. And then over here, we have a private patio off of their primary suite. They wanted a space they could just put their feet up, and super functional, but also super beautiful. And then the backdrop you can see is all of this board form concrete that the building put in, and we loved those hardscapes, so we feel like the furnishings really warmed it up.
And finally, we have our primary bedroom, which our intention was to make it calm and restful. So we treated all walls here in a plaster finish in a lighter tone that we use in other spaces, but it still stays in the same color palette that works well with existing and new millwork and furniture. The first thing that you see when you walk into the primary bedroom is this beautiful travertine pony wall, which was already in the bathroom but felt very unfinished. So we carried that wall all the way till the bedroom to make those spaces feel more connected. And to soften it, we added this warm walnut ledge with recessed LED that glows so beautifully on the plaster. And on the other side of the room, we have this beautiful custom built-in that we designed for our clients to have a display for their art, but at the same time, they wanted to watch TV. So we came up with this sliding door concept so they can have their TV open whenever they want to watch it, and when they don't, it's hidden away. Furniture here we kept very simple as our clients are minimalist. There are no overpowering lines, but they still work super well with other selections that we did through the home. And I think this makes this space such a beautiful retreat for them at the end of the day.
That wraps up our concrete canvas project. This is one of the first Trust the Process projects that we've been able to document. Not everything that we do has to be a full gut renovation or a new build. We can do so much with a remodel. And I think when the client has one team to manage the design, the estimating, the procurement, the installation, it makes it for a seamless process, and we cannot wait to reveal it to the clients. So if you want to check out any more of our Trust the Process projects, click the link below.